us today. Take your time and make sure that you're set up in a sturdy seat as well, that you have a firm support below you. We'll start in the chair today. And for those of you who prefer to stay in the chair for practice, you're more than welcome to do that. I'll give you lots of options for those who are staying in the chair. But let's start this morning by closing our eyes, taking some really deep, even exaggerated breaths in and out. Really let those breaths be big and full so you can feel the breath easily. And after a few good big breaths in and out, start to let go of the effort of breathing. And allow your more natural breath to come back in. And feel how air is coming in and out of your body. So without a lot of effort now, a simple and easy breath moving in and out. As you stay with your breath, start to notice any areas in your body that might feel a little tight, a little like they're gripping, that there might be some tension. And see if you can start to let some of those areas soften, even just a little bit. By softening the muscular tension in the body, we actually create more space for breath, more space for our body to draw air in and to release that carbon dioxide out. Let go of the tension where you can let go of it. And there's places often in our body that just won't seem to release the tension, and that's okay. We don't have to get frustrated with that or try to make it happen. We just recognize that, okay, maybe today my right shoulder is going to stay a little tight, or maybe today my left thigh is going to still feel a little bit of gripping. It's quite amazing how after we practice that these places all on their own start to let go of unnecessary, unneeded gripping or tension. We just let that be. Still feeling the easy breath flowing in and out. Draw a little bit more length through your spine. See if you can start to sit up a little bit taller. Lifting up through the tops of your ears. So your chin isn't lifting so much. You're going to keep your nose pointing straight forward. But you're drawing straight up through the tops of the ears, helping to grow the spine. Allowing your arms to just hang off the shoulders. The hands can rest easily in your lap. Begin to slowly turn your head towards your right. And then bring your head back into center and turn it towards your left. Gently, easily guide the head back into center and towards your right. And again, back into center and towards your left. Do that one more time from side to side, just going as far as is comfortable for you. Bringing the head back into center now. Gently lift the shoulders up towards the ears as high as you comfortably can. So we're not straining here, but we're lifting the shoulders up as high as we can. And then guide them back as though you were going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. We're going to go nice and slow, letting those shoulders now slide down the back and roll forward. Feel each distinct motion, taking the shoulders up and back and down and forward. Good. One more like that. Nice slow motion so you can feel the shoulders. You might notice one shoulder coming up a little higher than the other. Just notice that. Then take the shoulders back, drawing those shoulder blades together, sliding them down, and letting them roll forward. Okay, we're gonna reverse it now. The shoulders will start by going back, and then we'll glide them up towards the ears, scoop them forward, and let them slide down. Take the shoulders back, and then up, forward, and then down. And still that breath there as you take the shoulders back. Inhale the shoulders up, let them roll forward as you exhale, and they slide down. Good. Glide the shoulders back now a little bit. They don't have to come as far back as they did a moment ago, but feel a bit of broadening across your chest. And let's take the right arm, extend the right arm out to the right and up, and then exhale, gently arc over towards your left. Good. See if you can keep your right arm as straight as possible. And if this upward reach is aggravating your shoulder at all, you could take the right arm forward, or maybe take your fingertips to your shoulders so you're not straining the shoulder at all. Good. Your left hand can stay in your lap, or you might let your left arm dangle down beside you. Or for some of you, you might take your left arm up and hold your right wrist with your left hand. So finding the option that's appropriate for you and your body today. Coming into a position now that feels sustainable and allows you to breathe easily. Good. If you have a hold of your right wrist with your left hand, let that left arm come down, bring yourself back up into center, and then release the right arm down. Good. Notice any tension that might be sitting in the jaw, that shoulder. See if you can release the right jaw, the right shoulder. Let's take the left arm out and up. Again, you might take the arm forward, or fingertips to the shoulder, reaching out where it feels comfortable for you, arcing over towards your right. So you're welcome to stay here if this is feeling good and you're able to maintain your breathing. That's key. If it feels okay for you, your right arm might dangle down beside you, or you might take your right arm up to hold your left wrist to guide that left arm over. Shoulders are settled onto the back. Breath is moving. Good. Feel your feet on the floor. So we're not coming off of our hips here. Hips are heavy, feet are heavy, just curving over. One more breath here. If you have a grip over your wrist with your other hand, release that right arm down. Inhale back up into center, then let your left arm down. Letting both arms now hang at your sides. You can give them a little shake out. Just let them dangle there. Once again, let's take the shoulders up to the ears. This time as the shoulders lift, lift your chest, lift your chin and look up. Then as you exhale, arms dangling at your sides, let your shoulders roll forward, tuck your chin in and round your spine. Arms are dangling here. Inhale, lift those shoulders up, lift the chest up, look up. Then exhale, take the chin down and in, roll the shoulders forward, curl and look to your belly. Again, this motion is as big or as small as is available for your spine, being mindful of any injuries or soreness in the spine today. Only going where it feels okay for you. Let's take a couple more motions like this, feeling it in the shoulders, in the back of the spine. You might even feel a little bit of motion in your hips here. Good. Let's exhale, curling in. Then the next inhale breath as you lift your shoulders up, lift your chest up, take your arms back, and grab a hold of the sides of the chair if it's available. Now, depending on the chair that you're using, if you can't hold onto the side of the chair, that's okay. You could put your hands on your hips. That's okay too. So whatever's available for you there, then you're going to keep your chest lifted, but tuck your chin in a little bit now. So you're not so much lifting the chin up, you're tucking it in again. The nose is pointing straight forward, and we're lifting the chest up. Shoulder blades back, big breaths here. So we're opening up across the chest. Undoubtedly, during these times, we're all doing a lot more sitting than maybe we usually do. So we're going to take some postures today to really help counteract all that sitting. Open up the lungs, open up the chest. Get some of that oxygen really flowing. But keep a hold of the chair or your hips. Tuck your chin in, round your spine, look towards your belly button. Holding onto the chair or your hips, start to draw the shoulders forward now. Hug the chest in. Really curl in here. Some of you, if you're holding the chair, might even pull a little bit on the chair to help accentuate the curve. One more breath here. Then on a big full inhale, you're going to sit up nice and tall and release the arms again. Let them hang down beside you. Coming up to sit as tall as you can. Let's take the right leg up now, lifting the right knee. Take your hands underneath your right thigh, and then let the weight of the right leg just hang out in your hands. So you're not bending your elbows to lift the leg up. Try to straighten your arms and just let that right leg dangle for a moment. Then we'll use the arms to help move the leg. So you're going to circle your leg here. Now, if circling the leg isn't appropriate for your hip, you might continue to hold the leg, hugging it in. That's okay too. Circling though, if that's available. And once you've taken a few circles in one direction, change direction, circle the other way. Yeah. And then bringing that knee back up into center, let's all give our right knee a hug into the belly. Give it a good squeeze in. Some of you might stay here for a few breaths, especially if you have any kind of injury in the hip, or you're waiting for hip surgery, or maybe even if you've had hip surgery recently, you're going to keep your knees straight up. If it's okay in your hip, you might open your knee out to the right, take your right ankle across to your left thigh. Maybe. That's not necessary. If the right foot doesn't easily come onto the left thigh, you can then place your right foot onto the floor. That's okay too. So there's two options here. You either have your right foot on your left thigh or your right foot on the floor. Either way, you're sitting up nice and tall. That's the key. Keeping the breath moving. Good. If you have your right foot lifted, make sure that right foot is flexing back towards the knee. This will stabilize, support that knee a little bit. And then from here, we can start to fold forward a little bit. So if you have both feet on the floor, your elbows might come to rest on top of both thighs. You're just going to a place where you start to feel a little bit of a stretch. Folding forward, just to where it feels okay for you. Good, soften that jaw. Notice if you're clenching at all, or if the tongue's resting against the roof of the mouth. Try to ease that tension there. Then slowly as you inhale, rise back up nice and slow. Keep your legs as they are. Remember, either your right foot's on your left thigh or your foot is on the floor. Find your right hand and bring it across. So it'll rest on your left thigh, or if your foot is lifted, it'll rest on your right foot. The other hand can come around behind you and we'll come into a twist here. Try to resist the urge to pull yourself around into the twist. Soften the arms a little bit, just allow the muscles of the back to do the work to bring you around into your twist. Let's all together now take a deep breath in, big full breath in, as full as you can, and then big exhale out. Good. On your next inhale, nice big breath in, slowly unwind. Facing forward, if your right leg is lifted, gently ease it off, placing the right foot to the floor. Hands to the thighs. Take a moment again, close the eyes. Feel your natural breath. Notice the sensation in the legs. Especially if your leg was lifted, you may notice that one leg feels quite different than the other. Just notice these sensations. Once again, soften the tension that can be softened. Gently opening your eyes. Let's lift the left leg up now. Take your hands underneath your left leg. If you've interlaced your fingers there, see if you can change that up a little bit. Shift the interlace over by one finger. So you're going to interlace a little bit differently here. All interlaced over by one finger. It's challenging because you can't actually see your hands as you do it. You just have to feel your way there. Once you have a hold of that left leg, let the leg hang, let the arms go straight. And we have to use our back strength here to sit up tall. And then we start to circle that left leg around. Making as big and as full circles here as you can. And let's circle the other way. And again, if circles are not appropriate for you, you might sit with your leg hugging up nice and high. Get a little compression in that hip. That's really good work too. Good. The next time the knee comes back into center, give it a squeeze into the belly. Again, you can hold here for a couple breaths. Or if it's okay for your left hip, open the knee out to the side, bring the foot across, and rest it onto the right thigh. So once again, we have two options here. Your left foot can rest onto your right thigh, or the foot can come onto the floor. Choose the option that's appropriate for your leg, your hip, your knee. You want to make sure you're not adding undue strain there. If your left foot is lifted, flex the foot back, keep some strength in the leg. And then however you have your leg set up, perfect, stay like that, but draw length up your spine, get as tall as you can. But then from there, you might start to fold forward. Kind of depends on what your back will let you do today. Often we don't have to go very far to feel a bit of a stretch. And that's all we're looking for, is a little bit of that stretching sensation. Still feeling able to breathe here. Beautiful. On your next inhale, come right back up. Sit up nice and tall. Take that left hand, now bring it across, either to the right thigh or to that lifted foot. Bring your other hand around behind you and gently look off towards your right. Let's start exaggerating our breath a little bit here. Take some deeper breaths in, big full breaths in. Big complete breath out. Next inhale, nice big breath in. And then slowly unwind here, coming to face forward, easing that left foot off, placing the foot to the floor. Right. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's walk the feet now a little bit wider. Depending on your chair, your feet might come as wide as the chair. They might even go a little wider. Your hips also will let you know if this isn't appropriate to have your knees wide. You can keep your feet hip distance apart and your toes pointing forward. If it feels okay for you to take your legs wide, keep them wide, but turn your toes out slightly so that your toes are pointing in the same direction as your knees are. Then from here, let's all take a hold of the knees, sit up again nice and tall, long arms. We're gonna keep the length in the spine as the belly comes over the left thigh. Then glide your belly across to your right thigh. Inhale, lift up, lean back, and exhale, come down and across. Good, inhaling back and over, exhaling down and across. Really good. Let's do one more big circle like that in this direction. And now let's switch it around. Let's go the opposite way. Good. Big motions here, big circles. Good. One more big circle like that. This time as you exhale, you'll come around into the center. So you're folded forward, long spine. Elbows now can rest on your thighs. So again, if this isn't appropriate for you to have your legs wide, your knees are a little closer together, feet forward. Otherwise, with your legs wide, your toes are turned out slightly. Chest is lifted here. Let's all look forward. Try to draw your chest forward a little bit more, as though I could reach through the camera, through the computer, and help to pull your chest forward through the collarbones. Very good. Press into both feet now. Let's wake up some strength in the legs. Really nice. You're welcome to stay here like this. You might take your hands onto your knees to lift your chest up a little bit higher, or some of you might take your arms over your head, reaching the arms forward. Wherever you are, press strong into the feet. If you have any concerns in your knees, you're going to keep your hips on the chair. If the knees and low back feel okay, you might hover your hips now away from the chair, staying low, breathing deep. If your arms are extended, let's take an exhale breath, let those arms come down, sweep them back, then inhale, take those arms up. Exhale, let the arms come down, then inhale, take the arms up. Good, exhale, arms down. Big breath in, take the arms up. Last one, exhale, arms down. Now as we inhale, press into those feet and start to rise up. Big breath in, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, let the arms go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let it go. Good, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, let it go. Last one, inhale. Exhale, good. Shake the arms out. Turn your toes forward, keeping your feet still quite wide apart. Hands on the hips. Slide your hips from side to side. Good. How's your breathing? There's a lot of work right there. You might feel a little labored in your breath. So let that breath start to settle back in. And then you can start to circle your hips. Let's try circling them the other way. Good. Some of you might start to move your hips in more of a figure 8-like motion, kind of weaving them through center. Some of you might stay with the circling motion or the side to side motion. Any motion here is good motion. So do what works best for you. And then let's shift it. Let's go in the opposite direction. Good. Yeah, let's come back into center then with the hips. Walk those feet in now so they're more directly below your hips, coming to stand in your Tadasana. Have a look at your toes. Ensure that your toes are pointing straight forward. Now, if you're still sitting in the chair, this still applies to you. Keep your toes pointing straight forward, feet hip distance apart. Arms then can come down beside you. Feel that same lengthening coming up through the tops of the ears towards the sky. Bringing palms now together in front of the heart. You're going to feel the tips of the fingers and the base of the fingers and palms touch. And then I'll encourage you here to close your eyes. On your next inhale, take your right arm either straight up or straight out. And then exhale, bring that hand back down and into the center of the chest. We'll switch it now. Inhale the left arm either straight up or straight out. And then exhale it back down into center of the chest. This time the right arm is going to inhale and reach up as the left arm comes down. Exhale, bring the palms together. Switching again, the left arm will come up or out as the right arm comes down. Exhale, draw the hands back together. Let's keep going like this. Inhale, right arm up or out, left arm down. Exhale, palms together, nice and slow. Inhale again, left arm up or out, right arm down. Exhale, palms together. Yeah. Keep moving the arms in these opposite directions, drawing them back in together, moving with your breath. Excuse me, dry throat. Beautiful. You're welcome to keep moving like this if you're finding it quite calming. You're welcome to keep doing this. You might add on here as you take your right arm up, your left arm down. As you exhale this time, add in a side stretch going over to your left. Then inhale back up into center. Exhale to bring those hands back together. Switching sides, inhale left arm up, right arm down. Exhale, arc over towards your right. Inhale back up into center. Exhale, palms together. Let's keep going like that, adding on that gentle side stretch if it feels okay for you and your spine. So whether you're standing or seated in the chair, the motion is the same. The rooting points might be a little different. If you're standing, your rooting points will be your feet. If you're sitting, your rooting points will be your feet, but also your hips. Let's do 3 more on each side. Yeah, we're gonna do 1 more now on each side. Last one here. And the next time you come back with your hands at the center of the chest, pause there, breathe there. Good. Let's interlace the hands here, interlace the fingers, press the palms gently forward if that feels okay for your knuckles. And then inhale, both arms up as high as you comfortably can. Release the hands now as you exhale, bring the arms around behind you. Interlace your fingers behind you. Send those interlaced hands out towards the space behind you and lift your chest up. Again, keep the chin slightly tucked, lifting the chin up, lifting the gaze up, but keeping that chin in. Deep breaths here. Good. On your next inhale, gently release the arms to your sides, palms forward. Do that quick check-in to see if you're clenching in the jaw, if there's some tension through the shoulders, the hips, maybe into the knees that you can soften. And let's take the chair now and bring the chair around to your right-hand side. So you want to have the chair on your right-hand side. If today the chair that you're using isn't movable or steady, then make sure that you have a wall or a table, something next to you on your right side that is stable and steady for you to use. And once you have that chair set up, you'll return to your Tadasana. This time though, I'm going to have a step maybe just a little bit further out from that stable space. Make sure though that your hand is able to still easily rest on the space. Reach it. You don't have to really go quite far. It should be still close enough that it's easy for your hand to rest there. Okay, so you also might be staying in your chair. That's great. You can do that as well. Wherever you are, whether you're standing or seated, start to march your legs in place. Good. As you're marching, see if you can feel your feet lift and lower from the floor. And now see if you can move in a way where the feet lift and lower from exactly the same spot each time. Good. Now some of you might work with the stable chair or table that you have. See if you can release your hand from that table or chair and continue to march in place. If you start to feel quite wobbly, know that the chair is there or the table is there for support. Good. If you're marching in place, this feels okay. You can add in your arms. So opposite arm to leg. Starting to lift the arms forward and maybe up. Good. Good. Maybe you speed up the marching a little bit. Not too fast where you start to feel like you're going to fall over. A little bit faster. Good. Some of you might work to challenge your balance a bit more by slowing the marching down. And you might even notice at some point you could pause and then release and change sides. Pausing partway, then releasing, changing sides. Know that that chair is there for support. Good. Good. Oops. And let's speed it up again. Get a little bit more motion going. Good work, guys. Good. And then you can let your arms down, keep that marching going. And then let the feet come back onto the floor. Both feet flat on the ground, palms forward. Close your eyes. Take some deep breaths here, in and out. Let's open the eyes now. Take the chair so it's more in front of you and so that you have space behind you. That's the key. Make sure that you have the chair in front of you, or maybe for you it's a table that's steady. And then make sure there's space behind you. Once you have that set up, you can stand with your feet facing the chair, returning to your Tadasana. Good. Press down actively into your feet now. Let's really use these legs. Press down into the feet. Inhale the arms forward and up. Lift your gaze, look up. For those who are standing, you're going to bend your knees and sit back as though you were going to sit down into another chair. Release your hands in front of you, or if you're seated, onto your thighs. Then inhale, straighten those legs, straighten the arms, look forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, fold down. Inhale, straighten the arms, look forward. Exhale, bend those elbows, fold down. Good. Inhale, straighten the arms, look forward. Okay, we have a couple options here. My dog wanted to join us today. All right, the first option is to bring your right hand onto the chair and then lift your right foot up onto the chair. That's one option, not necessary. If that's not available today, or maybe you're not using a chair that allows you to do that, that's okay. You'll take your right foot forward under the chair instead and move your left foot back just a little bit. So either you have your right foot on the floor, forward from your left foot, or your left foot is pretty close to the chair and your right foot is up on the chair. Wherever you are, both hands will come onto the back of the chair, making sure you feel pretty steady here. Pressing into both feet wherever they are, press down into both feet, keep that strength in the legs. And then maybe bring your hands up one at a time to that front thigh. Lifting your chest up, maybe coming away from the chair a little bit. You're welcome to keep a hold of the chair, that's okay too. Good. Feel the strength in both feet. Some of you might take your arms up overhead. Some of you might keep your hands on your leg or on the chair. Good. You're welcome to stay where you are and breathe there, always ensuring that your breath is able to move. If you're feeling pretty steady here, you can take your left hand across to your right thigh. Right hand will come onto your right hip, and you might start to twist gently towards your right. Ensure that you're working the strength of your legs here. Press down into both feet. You also might be holding onto the chair as you twist. That's perfectly okay too. Wherever you are, be there now. Feel your breath. If you have your right hand on your right hip, you might release that right hand out behind you. See if you can hang that right hip a little bit heavier. Press into both feet. Good job. One more breath here. Now take that nice deep breath in as you unwind. Hands onto the back of the chair. If you have your right foot lifted, I find taking my left hand down first, then my right foot down is a little bit more stable. We're simply here going to change sides. So your right hand will come on the chair, the left hand will come onto the back, and then you lift your left foot up, maybe. For you, you might keep your left foot on the floor, forward, and take your right foot back a little bit more. Wherever you are, both hands can come onto the back of the chair here, steadying yourself where you are. If you're feeling steady there, press into both feet. Maybe you take one hand at a time up onto that left thigh, drawing your chest up and away from the chair, getting as tall again as you can. Maybe you take your arms up. Good. Breathing here. So remember, you could have one foot up on the chair or both feet still on the floor. If your right hand is lifted, you might take your right hand across to your left thigh and your left hand comes onto your hip. Good. Then you might come into your twist, looking off towards your left. Maybe you're holding onto the chair with one hand as you twist. Wherever you are, you're pressing into both feet equally. For the last couple breaths, you might release your left arm out behind you. Make sure your breath is moving. Good. On your inhale now, slowly unwind, bringing your hands onto the back of the chair. Then maybe taking your right hand onto the seat of the chair before stepping your left foot off. Bringing both feet onto the floor side by side, holding onto the sides of the chair with your hands. Take a big breath in, look up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lifting your hands onto the back of the chair, looking up. Good. Exhale, let's fold in a little bit. And then from here, inhale, coming all the way up to stand. Returning to your Tadasana. Breathing here, nice deep breaths in and out. Okay, for those of you who are comfortable coming to the floor, you can start to make your way down, maybe using your chair for support, making your way down onto the floor to bring your legs up on the chair, allowing yourself to lay down onto your back. If you'd prefer to stay in your chair today, you are more than welcome to do that. Simply come to sit down in the chair, kind of forward maybe on the chair. So you got a little bit of space behind you. Take your time setting yourself up. There's no rush. Once you have yourself seated in the chair or on the floor, and actually those in the chair might even go ahead and sit all the way back to the back of the chair so their spine has support. Your hands then can rest on your belly. Close your eyes. Start to allow a settling feeling, quieting feeling. Let's do a few rounds today of our Brahmari breath. This is our bumblebee breath. On each exhale, you'll now place your tongue to the roof of your mouth and gently hum to sound like a buzzing bumblebee. Sorry. So it'll sound like this. Take each exhale breath like that. Excuse me. But because we all breathe at a different tempo and a different rate, you might notice that your Brahmari is different than my Brahmari. It'll happen at a different time, and that's okay. Allow your breath to happen naturally, but allow each exhale to be that gentle humming with the tongue at the roof of the mouth. I'll signal when it's time to end, but let's begin together. Taking a deep breath in again through the nose. Take a big exhale out the mouth. Then let's take an inhale breath through the nose. Tongue to the roof of the mouth. Let's begin to Brahmari. 3 more breaths like this. Last one. Softly let your tongue drop away from the roof of the mouth. If you're lying on the floor, slide your knees in towards your belly. Let your arms wrap over top of the legs and give the legs a squeeze to the belly. If you're sitting in the chair, gently fold yourself over your legs, just as far as is comfortable, being aware of blood pressure here, keeping your head above your heart if there's any concern. Give yourself have a nice little squeeze, a little hug in here. If you're lying on the floor, go ahead and roll yourself over onto one side and begin to draw yourself away from your chair so that you can lay down onto the ground fully. If you're sitting in the chair, start to make your way up. Take your time. And if you're in the chair sitting, you're going to slide forward a little bit so you've got some space. For those of you on the floor, take your time. Make sure that you've got lots of space around you and your legs are able to be extended out onto the floor. Those sitting in the chair can walk themselves around on the chair towards the right-hand side. I'll give you a couple options here. You can keep both feet on the floor, or your left leg might come back into more of a lunge. Taking both hands now around to the back of the chair, looking out over the back of the chair. If you're lying on the floor, take your right leg into your belly. Bring your left hand across to that right leg and draw your right leg across, coming into a gentle twist here. That's for those who are lying on the floor. Wherever you are, however you are in your twist, take some nice deep breaths here. If you're sitting in the chair, slowly bring your legs back together and walk yourself around to the other side. If you're lying on the floor, you can extend your right leg out and now bring your left leg in. Take your right hand across to your left thigh and draw your left knee across your body, nice and slow and gentle into your twist here. If you're sitting in the chair, you're facing to the left side, maybe your right leg comes out behind you a little into the lunge. Maybe you keep your feet side by side and both hands are around onto the back of the chair. Once again, it's not really important how deep you go in your twist. As long though, the key is as long as you're breathing naturally, but fully as well. So you are using as much of your capacity of breath as you can, but not to such a place where you feel tension building. If you're in the chair, slowly bring your legs back together and walk yourself around to the front of the chair. If you're lying on the floor, gently ease the left leg back up. Planting feet on the ground now. So knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Take your feet a little wider apart and just let your knees rock from side to side. For those of you in the chair, bring your feet again so they're about hip distance apart. Slide yourself all the way back into your chair so you can comfortably lean back into the chair, palms facing up in your lap. Feet flat on the floor if possible. If you're lying on the floor and it feels okay on your low back to allow your legs to straighten out onto the ground, you're welcome to do that. If that feels aggravating for your low back, keep your knees bent, let your feet go wide and your knees fall together. And then wherever you are here, however you are positioned, go ahead and gently allow the eyes to close if it feels okay for you to do so. Letting the eyes themselves sink back a little bit into the head. Letting go of any effort of the breath. Letting go of any effort of the body. Letting go of any effort of the mind. Coming to a place that is easeful, gentle, and allowing. Allowing for all to be right now as it needs to be. Coming to a place that is for you peaceful, calm, quiet. It'll bring us back in time to close the practice together. Softly now, simply tune in to the sensation of the air that is traveling in and out of your body. As your body is here resting, easeful, the breath has more freedom to move around. See if you can maintain that experience of ease as you start to bring in a little bit of motion through the fingers and the toes. Maybe for you, it's through the forehead and eyebrows and jaw. There's a little bit of motion in the body, maintaining that gentle, easeful state. If you're lying on the floor and it feels okay for you to bend your knees, you can do that and roll off to one side, bringing yourself up to sit, taking your time, finding your own way up, whatever way is most comfortable for you. If you're sitting in the chair and you've moved a little bit now, you can move forward on your chair. So again, you're sitting away from the back of the chair. Feet are able to plant onto the ground. Once you're in your seat and there's no rush to get there, bring the hands back together in front of the heart, touching finger pads and the palms, letting your thumbs rest against the sternum. Let's all together take one more big, full, life-giving breath in. Let a big sigh out, taking with it any remnants of tension or holding or gripping. Let's do that again. Big, full, life-giving breath in. Big, easeful, releasing breath out. Lifting the hands now. So the thumbs come to touch at the center of the forehead. May you think kind thoughts. Floating the thumbs down to rest against your lips. May you speak kind words. Letting the thumbs come down now to rest again against the heart. May you feel and experience kindness. Thank you all so much for joining in practice today. Namaste.